from your resources section, you can actually download the Python file that I have given, which is just simple example.py. So let's try and go through the code and see what it is doing. So the first part of the code, if you see, we are importing some libraries. We have the import OS and we have the projects libraries and others. So the OS is a standard Python module for interacting with operating system. Then we have the AI project client. It is a client from Azure's AI Projects SDK to manage the AI agents and their operations. And we talked about the default Azure credential. It is a credential class from Azure Identity SDK, which automatically manages authentication using the environment variables, managed identities, or authentication methods. Now, in this case, because we'll be using Azure CLI, so it will actually eventually go through that path. Then we talk about, the definition of the project connection string. Now you might ask, where is this coming from? It's pretty straightforward, guys. All you need to do is go to your Foundry projects, and inside that you will get the project connection string. So all you need to do is simply copy and put it in your project connection string variable. And so this string contains the credentials and metadata which is required to connect to the Azure AI project. And the structure likely follows is the region. If you see, it is the region East US that I'm using. Then you have the UUID of the project. Then you have the resource group, which is Azure OpenAI resource group that I have been using. And then we have the service type, which is the actual project which I have. Then we talk about initializing the AI project client, right? So if you see here, we are doing project client is equal to AI project client dot from connection string, right? So all we are doing is we are initializing the AI project client based on the default credential as well as the connect string that you are passing, right? Then we start the client session. So if you see here, we are saying with project client. So the with statement ensures that the resources are properly managed and closed when done, right? So once this part is done, then you can actually look at creating an AI agent. So this is where we are actually creating our agent, right? Pretty simple. We are saying model is equal to GPT-4 Mini. So remember, this deployment should already exist in your project. If it is not there, you should create this deployment called GPT-4 Mini. Now, don't worry, we'll be doing too many deep dives, a lot of more deep dive sessions on this where you will get to know this better. For this video, I wanted to keep it simple. Probably you can just simply run it and just get used to, get accustomed to it, how things work, right? Then we have creation of a thread. As we know, an agent has got a thread, right? And it is there for the context, or you can say the stateful side of the things. So it creates a new conversation thread which acts as a session for the interactions. And then you send a message from the user. So message from the user is who is the PM of India. And then we run the agent, right? Pretty straightforward. We run the agent to process the message, which starts processing the conversation thread, and the agent processes the user's message and generates a response. And here we're just handling doing some error checking, and then we get the messages from the thread. Now, quite important, if you don't use messages.data zero content text value, then you will get the JSON response. So all we are going to do is we are fetching all the messages in the conversation thread and extract the agent's response. I think pretty straightforward, and in the end we are just deleting the agent to keep things simple. So you can try and execute this and see what happens. Okay, perfect, bingo. That's what I wanted to showcase. So what we need to do is we need to install the two libraries. So we'll install the Azure. So if you go up, you need the Azure AI Projects. Okay, let's install this in our environment. And the second library we need to install is Azure Identity. Right? So once you have installed these two libraries, then we can go ahead and execute our code and see what happens. So it should actually say that I will have created an agent, I have created a thread, it gives me the thread ID, it gives me the message ID, the run is finished, and my agent has come back saying, as of my last knowledge, Prime Minister of India is Narendra Modi. He has been in office since this time. So all I wanted to showcase as part of this is how you can use the Azure CLI method or the default Azure credential method to call or to actually execute your agents. Thanks for watching.